Milo, Milo, are you ready for your very own birthday bedtime adventure story? This one is called Milo at the Devon Railway Centre. Written by Mark. Read by Mark. Milo lay snuggled under his covers, his little nose peeking out, and Monkey, his beloved plush teddy, curled tightly in his arms.
"Fancy another adventure?"
Monkey asked with a wink. Milo gave a sleepy nod. Suddenly the walls of Milo's bedroom shimmered with golden sparkles. The bed began to rumble gently, and with a whoosh, the room melted away. Milo blinked and found himself standing on the platform of the Devon Railway Centre, with Monkey perched proudly on his shoulder. Steam puffed into the air, children laughed nearby, and in the distance, Milo spotted someone familiar. It was VinVin, his cousin and beloved friend. VinVin was queuing for a delicious ice cream. The two cousins hugged and shared giggles as Milo decided he'd have an ice cream too. They then spotted a bright red play train, a train that had been converted into a play centre with wooden railway tracks, sand pits, and ball pits inside the long carriages. They climbed aboard, still licking their ice creams. But just as they were about to explore the train's carriages, poof! A green puff of smoke exploded beside them. Out popped Mola the Tooth Goblin, eyes gleaming, golden tooth wand in hand.
"Ice cream tastes good, with sugar and cream. So Mola has come to steal your teeth as you dream,"
said the wretched goblin, taking a step towards them. They raced from carriage to carriage, past wooden playsets and ride-on toys, Mola hot on their heels. Milo grabbed some sand from the sandpit and threw it at Mola, but he blasted it away with his wand just before it went in his eyes. Just in time, they dived into a giant ball pit, hoping Mola wouldn't come in. They could hear his wheezing breath as they hid under the balls. But Mola did find them. He leapt in, diving towards their sweet ice cream scent. Monkey whispered to Milo as they hid under the balls.
"What's that in your hand, Milo? Look!"
Milo's hand reached and touched something. It was a jack-in-the-box hidden beneath the balls. He wound it up quickly and popped out of the ball pit to see a slobbering Mola right there. And then out jumped a clown with a squeal and sent Mola flying backwards. They burst out laughing and clambered free of the ball pit. Milo wound the toy again. Mola whimpered in fear and then puff, disappeared in a cloud of smoke. The ice creams were melted in the ball pit. Milo and Vin shrugged with a giggle and went on their way. Next stop was the model village. Tiny houses stretched for what seemed like miles. As they peered at the tiny houses and cobbled streets, they heard a soft voice, but saw no one. It sounded like someone was calling for help, but try as they may, they couldn't see anything. Vin raised a finger and said,
"I got it. That's what we need to."
Shark Wizard splashed down into view, cloak sparkling.
"You'll need to be a bit smaller to help, boys,"
he said, tapping them gently with his wand.
"Enable these boys that are big and tall to help the needy. Make them small."
Suddenly Milo and Vin were tiny, standing in a magical fairy village. A graceful fairy queen fluttered over.
"Our village has been damaged,"
she said sadly.
"We think it was the gnomes."
Milo offered to help and go and visit the gnomes on the fairy's behalf. The fairy queen was grateful and said she'd make them big again and transport them to either the train who would take them to the gnome village to talk to their leader. With a tinkle and a ripple and a blink of an eye, the boys found themselves in front of a green small steam train with lots of open carriages. The boys climbed aboard, and soon they were on their way, passing small waterfalls, badgers and foxes, until they arrived deep in the woods at the gnome village.
Welcome to our village. My name is Sven. Have you come to play?
Said a gnome, who appeared to be the leader. Milo asked why they destroyed the fairy village and why they were being mean. But the gnomes weren't mean. They were just bored and wanted to play, but the fairies were just too small. Milo agreed a plan with the gnomes. They'd play with the gnomes for a while, and in exchange, the gnomes would rebuild and repair what they'd damaged. Because after all, gnomes were expert at construction. The gnomes agreed and lined up with cheers of joy, ready to follow the boys. They led the gnome tribe to the train-themed soft play area, where Milo and Vin lifted them onto slides and gave them gentle pushes on the swings. Laughs echoed all around.
That was so much fun,
said Sven.
We are usually too small to play here, so thank you for your help. We'll fix the fairy village straight away.
As they walked back, they heard crash, bang, near the bumper cars. A naughty leprechaun was zooming around, bumping into poor pixies who were just trying to drive.
We should help,
said Monkey. Milo nodded. The gnomes continued on to the fairy village. The boys grabbed their own bumper cars and sped around the track at high speed.
You'll never catch me. I'm far too quick for thee,
taunted the leprechaun. Milo pointed to Vin to go on the opposite direction and continued to pursue the green mischievous fellow, avoiding wiped out pixies in their vehicles as they twisted and turned around bends. Then they cornered the leprechaun with teamwork and giggles. The cheeky trickster gave a final wink.
Ah, fiddlesticks, I'll be on me way now.
Span in a circle and vanished in a swirl of rainbow sparkles, his cackles left on the warm summer breeze. Suddenly, thunder rumbled.
It's time to go,
Monkey said softly. The world span like a carousel and gently started to fade away. Milo waved his cousin VinVin goodbye as swirls emerged and the world transformed back to Milo's bedroom. Milo opened his eyes and found himself back in bed, Monkey resting on his chest. At his bedside stood Mummy and Daddy, smiling down lovingly at their kind, helpful, loving toddler boy.
Did you have nice dreams, darling?
Mummy whispered.
What you got there, Milo?
Asked Daddy. It was a tiny green toy train in his hand. Milo gave a sleepy smile, cuddled Monkey tight and gave a stretch and a yawn, ready to start the day ahead.
The end.